You know that feeling when you're trying to do something before your parents get home and then you hear them outside or the doorknob turning and your heart drops all the way to the floor? For me, it was this one time that I broke a lamp in middle school. Now, my brother and I were horsing around way too much in the living room. And next thing you know, the lamp is down for the count. We examined the scene and came to the conclusion that the best plan of action was super glue. Like a lot of super glue. I mean, I used it before. Surely the pieces could be put back together if I just gave it my best shot, right? Wrong. No matter how careful me and my brother were to place the pieces right back where they were and hold them super still to dry, it just fell back apart. That glue did not hold up. When my dad got back home from work, we knew we and that wonky lamp were cooked. There wasn't any way we could hide the mess we made. Hey, I'm Austin, and today we are going to talk about what happens when things fall apart. When that mess in our lives is maybe just too big to hide anymore. It's an uncomfortable place to be. And if you're anything like me, you want to get out of that feeling as quick as possible. So we find ourselves asking, can I just figure out how to fix myself? Where's the super glue for my life? Am I right? Today, we're going to read about some people in the Bible who ask that question like a lot. We'll be in Exodus, near the front of the Bible. And low-key, we are going to cover a lot of ground. So let me get us up to speed. Exodus is a book about God's people, Israel, being set free by God from Egyptian slavery. God sent this man named Moses to free the Israelites from slavery and lead them on a journey to unlearn what Egypt had taught them and to embrace walking with God daily. At this point in the story, the Israelites had escaped Egypt and were wandering around the desert, not sure where to go next. Let's pick up in chapter 13. It says, "The Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way during the day, and in a pillar of fire to give them light at night, so that they could travel day or night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night never left its place in front of the people." So, the presence of God showed up by a pillar of clouds during the day, and then at nighttime, this cloud became a pillar of fire. You might be asking, Let me break this down. The Israelites had no clue where to go next, but God was right there leading them day and night. The Israelites needed God's guidance and presence always. This gives us a picture of people who are limited. They need Him literally daily, hourly, minute by minute. They were so limited in their understanding of what was coming, and they needed someone to guide them. See, God's presence wasn't just the icing on the cake or a nice thing to think about when they were feeling down. He was essential for every day. The Israelites continued to wander through the desert, following these pillars wherever they led, though they weren't all that happy about it. They complained and dragged their feet and tried to fix their situation on their own. Eventually, they came to this mountain. Moses climbed up to meet with God himself and be a mouthpiece for the Israelites. God gave Moses commands to relay to the people and told him that he was to lead the Israelites forward to the land God had for them. But Moses had witnessed that the Israelites were pretty lousy at keeping promises and holding it together. Moses basically said to God, "Hello, this task is way too big for me. Who is going to help me? These people are hopeless." Let's jump down to chapter 33. See what God says. "And he replied, 'My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest.'" Moses recognized his inability to do what God said on his own. What was God's reply? He said, "I will be with you." Like Moses, our brokenness reveals that we are limited, and that can feel overwhelming. But the answer that God gives us isn't that we need to try harder. It's that He is with us. His presence is enough to quench that longing we are looking for and to provide us with true rest in Him. So what happened with the Israelites? God told Moses and the people to build this thing called a tabernacle. Now, if you're asking, what on earth is a tabernacle? I got you. It was essentially a massive portable tent that was more like a building for Israel to come and worship in the presence of God. Let's check out what happens next. "The cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses was unable to enter the tent of meeting because the cloud rested on it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. The Israelites set out whenever the cloud was taken up from the tabernacle throughout all the stages of the journey. If the cloud was not taken up, they did not set out until the day it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was over the tabernacle by day, and there was a fire inside the cloud by night, visible to the entire house of Israel throughout all the stages of their journey. So Israel built this tabernacle, and God told them to keep moving forward, heading to the place he would give them to live. Don't miss this part though. The Lord's glory, that same presence and glory that was in the pillar of cloud and fire, now filled the tabernacle. This is amazing. God's presence was fully with his people. But did you catch that part about Moses? Moses couldn't go inside the tabernacle while God's presence was there. Why? Because Moses, like all of us, was limited. He was not holy like God is holy. He couldn't be in the full presence of God like that. Just like Moses and the Israelites left on our own, we can't fully be in God's presence. It's too great for us to witness. But the good news is God doesn't leave us on our own. When Jesus came to earth and gave his life, he broke the barriers between God's people and God's presence. Though we are broken and limited, Jesus makes us whole, giving us his unlimited access to God's presence. So on days when you're feeling like that lamp, busted, exposed, and unable to put yourself back together, and you ask yourself, can I just figure out how to fix myself? Remember that our brokenness reveals our limitations. We can't be the solution. We can't piece and glue ourselves back together. Instead, God provides a way forward. Through Jesus, we have access to a relationship with God that restores us. When you turn to God, he fixes what's broken and he makes you whole.